Keystone Stitcher. And today I'm back with a very special video for you. I'm going to do a flip through of the 2023 Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition. Now, I told you I was going to do this the beginning of the month and that I would have an issue for you that I would give away. First of all, I don't. So when I ordered this, I ordered two, one for me and one for you. And instead, they sent me one of this year's and one of last year's. So I don't need last year's. If you would like the 2022, I'm guessing this was a mistake that they accidentally sent it to me. So we're going to do this right now and get it out of the way. Say oops in your comment and I will send this. I will send this anywhere. But yeah, say oops, O-O-P-S, and it's all yours. So now you can see I have a lot of stuff marked here. I'm going to try to figure out how best to do this. I don't think that my last year, it was the first time I did a flip through, and I just didn't feel that it looked visually appealing. And so I'm going to make a change. I'm going to show you the pages here. I'll show you the page where they have all of the images for that section. And then when I talk about that particular one and give you the details on that design, I will put a picture in here of what that design specifically looks like. There are some that are not, you know how they usually have, if you looked at the magazine, they usually have a 2-page spread showing you all the designs in that section. And then they go on and individually give you all the charts. Well, this time there are plenty, which is why you see all of these pages here marked. There are plenty of designs that are not in the 2-page spread. And this year it's actually, I think, a 1-page spread for the most part. So let's get into this. This is the cover. Back cover, it's got a few Mill Hills. I kind of like that one right there, the autumn one. I don't do a lot of Mill Hills, so I don't know that I would ever order those. But this says it has 50 plus ghoulish goodies to stitch and 30 ornaments. Okay, inside the front cover, I've got a window over here and it gives me great light, but this paper is kind of glossy, so I've got to play with the angle here. So you can see more designs there are advertised. And this is for Stony Creek. And then over here you have the sections of what is in here. So you have Haunted Happenings, Home for Halloween, Pick of the Patch, Spooky Creatures, Trick or Treat, and Witch's Brew. On the next page you have a letter from the editor. I can take that off so you can see it now. Maybe. Okay, letter from the editor. Just a really nice letter. And then we have our first page. This is the Haunted Happenings. And this is what's on that section. So as you can see, it's normally a 2-page spread, I believe. And this time it's just 1 page. All right, so now I'm going to go through and I will individually talk about each of those, tell you the size, who the designer is, information that you may need, and what threads are used. So this first one is called Boo Watch, and it's this one right here. This is designed by Julia Rosenberg of Cotton Pixels. This is 63 by 63. It's considered an easy stitch. It uses 14 count Algae Ada from We Will Die For You, DYE, and it's charted for both Sullivan's and DMC. There's a little bit of backstitch, not a lot, and there's one Mill Hill seed bead. It's called Crystal Honey. Not too sure where that goes. Oh, it looks like it's in the eyes of that owl. I think that's an owl flying. So that's the first one. The next one is Tombstone Trailer, designed by Nancy Greenberg of Pickle Barrel Designs. This is an easy stitch. It's 64 by 64. They stitched this on a 14 count Barbara Ada from Grace Notes Fabrics. And let's see, this is also charted in DMC and Sullivan's, and it does not use any specialty, no beads or anything like that. Okay, the next one, this is called Unwelcome Sign, which is really kind of cute. I was trying to read it, and the glare in here is ridiculous. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. That's what it says. Okay. So this is Unwelcome Sign by Franny Ritter of Franny Ritter Designs. It's 62 by 56, and it's on a 32 count Halloween linen from Witchelt. This is stitched, or this is charted for both Sullivan's and DMC. You do have a very fine chronic braid, which is used for the lettering on the 2 tombstones. And that's actually glow-in-the-dark chronic braid. I've never used chronic. I've used DMC's metallic, and that was it for me. I've never used metallic. After that, I just substitute with another color. Okay, this next one is Hidden Skeleton. And I really wish I could show this to you, but the only way to see the skeleton is if you look at the chart, and I can't show you the chart. This uses a glow-in-the-dark thread, so if you see the ghost here, if you see around the eyes, there's actually a skeleton. Then you have the vertebrae coming down. You have 4 lines for the ribs. You have the pelvic bone, the 2 legs, and 2 arm bones. And so behind that, so the whole ghost is stitched in white, and then it uses a glow-in-the-dark white, so that in the glow-in-the-dark you will see the skeleton pop up. It's adorable. It really is. I wish there was a picture in here of it with the glow-in-the-dark so I could show you. Anyway, this is by Sunny Lofstrom. It's 65 by 62. It's stitched on 14 count black Aida from Witchelt, and it uses 2 colors. It uses black and white, so you could use that from any brand that you're using. And then it uses the Light Effects glow in the dark. Okay, this next one is called Cross My Heart. This is by Kathleen Burlew. And it says at the bottom, it says Cross My Heart, and then up the left side, Hope to Die, across the top, Stick and Needle, and then down the other side, In My Eye. So that's what's written across the border. This is 65 by 65. It's on a 28 count Coffee Jobelin from Witchelt, and it's charted for both DMC and Sullivan's. It does have DMC Diamond, and that is, okay, there's, if you look inside the black border, so you have an outer black border and inner black border, and then you'll see there's these 2 little white lines around the eyes on the 4 corners. That's where it uses diamond. But that's kind of cute. That is, I have to admit, that's really cute. Okay, this next one is not in the preview, and this is Sweet Dreams, right there. So this one is by Elizabeth Spurlock of Saving Grace Fine Needle Arts. It's 27 by 133. It's stitched on a 27 count antique white linen pyramid from Witchelt, and it's simply stitched in DMC or your choice of Sullivan's. There's also finishing materials, which uses fusible interfacing and fabric in order to make that. So all of that is in there. This next one, again, is not in the preview, and it's this one right here. There we go. So this is called Be Afraid, and this is by Lee Fisher of Stitchy Fish Designs. It's considered easy, and it's 55 by 50. It's stitched on it's not on 18 count. It's on 28 count Hocus Pocus Lugana from Fabrics by Stephanie. And this is stitched in Anchor or DMC, it's charted for. And there's also finishing materials for this as well, or instructions with the materials you need. This next one is called Fortune Teller, and this is one I would really like to stitch. That's just, I think that's great. And it goes with another piece that I have. Trying to think if I can pull it out and insert a picture, and I'll put this over here so you see this gate here. I think it goes really well with this. Okay, so this is by Jessie Schofield, excuse me, It's considered intermediate. It's 108 by 78. It's stitched on a 28 count shale casual linen from Picture This Plus. And it's charted for DMC and solvents. And there's nothing fancy on that whatsoever. Okay, so this next section is called Home for Halloween. And here's, let's see if I can get in here. This one right here reminds me of By the Bay Needle Arts. Something about the way this tree is. And then you've got those right there. So those are the ones that we'll be going over next. So this first one is called Home Sweet Haunted Home. This is what I think I'd like to do. This is considered easy. It's by Jenny Barton of JV Cross Stitch. It's 69 by 70, and it's on a 28 count sandcastle hand-dyed linen from Witchelt. It is charted for mostly DMC or Sullivan's, but it does use a Weeks Dye Works. It's called Sally's Lemonade, and that's what that moon is stitched in. So normally I just switch out and I don't buy the specialty floss. If I stitch this, I might have to. Either that or I'll just kind of rechart it and do a combination of creams and yellows. But yeah, that one, that whole moon is stitched in that specialty. And what is it? It's Weeks Dye Works. Okay, the next one is Pumpkin Spice. And this is cute. This one has two charts, so you get both the mug and you get the little pumpkin spice tag that hangs, so the T tag. The mug is 46 by 43. The tag is 11 by 17. This is by Rana Nori of Tangled Threads and Things. It's stitched on 14 count clear perforated plastic. And it uses Sullivan's and DMC. You do have some back stitch and you do have French knots. It looks like the French knots are in the eyes of those bats across the top border on the mug. I don't seem to see it anywhere else. Okay, this next one. I like this one, but I think I would change the colors, and I'll tell you a little in a moment. This is Hang Your Broom. Design is by Amy Baker at Barefoot Needle Art. It's 65 by 61. It's stitched on a 14 count Sea Lavender Ada from Barefoot Needle Art. This uses DMC or Sullivan's, but it also uses Sulky Acrylic Petites, a Sulky Cotton Petite Blendable, and 2 Weeks Dye Works. So the Sulky Cotton Petite Blendable is what the words home is. So the blue. The home is you, hang, and broom. And I just don't like, for me, oh, I'm sorry. For me, I'm having trouble reading it because there's too much variegation in the letters. So that's me. That's me personally. I don't like my lettering to have too much variegation. The Sulky Acrylic Petite is the orange. And then you have the Weeks Dye Works is both the handle of the broom and the straw bottom of the broom. So I think I would most definitely change the lettering in that blue. That one, like I say, it's my eyes. I don't see highly variegated, but it's adorable. And I am definitely seriously thinking of stitching that one. This next one is Spooky Street. It's by Cute Embroidery by Kate. It's 58 by 48. It's on a 14 count China Pearl Ada from Witchelt. And it is charted for Sulky or DMC. And again, there's instructions for turning it into a flat fold. Okay, this next one, this is the one that I swear it looks like By the Bay Needle Arts. And I was sure it was. But it's not. It's by Barbie Laux of Twisted Willow Designs. It's Laux, so I'm not sure if that X is silent. It's 69 by 58. It's on 28 count Cafe Mocha Country French linen by Witchelt. And it is stitched completely in Gentle Art threads. So there's simply shaker and just a sampler. And then you do have the finishing instructions included. The next page is actually an advertisement. I don't know if you're really interested in the advertisements, but if you are, this is the Creative Woman Club. And yeah, it's crafts. It's like a subscription to crafts. Okay, this next one was not in the preview page. And this is called Quaker Style Halloween Sampler. And I actually like that. I don't normally like little tiny motifs throughout my stitching, but there's something, maybe it's because this is Halloween, but I like this. This is by Nancy Waller of Faithworks Designs. It's 99 by 104. It's on a 28 count tropical orange linen from Witchell. And you have, it's charted in Anchor and DMC. You do have a colonial knot. I don't know how many, it just says colonial knot. And that's done in black. Okay, this next one, again, is a standalone chart. And this is called Nobody is Home. So, Nobody is Home. And that's really cute. So, this is stitched on Ectoplasm Ada. Let me see if I can turn the page and I'll tell you who it's by. So, the Ectoplasm Ada is by Oblong Meow. I've never heard of that company. I'll have to check them out. This is by L. Noonan of Stitch Sprout, and you have your choice of DMC or solvent. It's, let's see, 89 by 65, if I didn't say. No specialty flosses, no French knots. That's really nice. The finishing materials it uses a 7 by 7 wood house with roof by Woodpile Fun, found at Hobby Lobby. And let's see here. This next one, again, is another standalone. This is called Decorated for Halloween. And this is just a Halloween shelf. And I think it's really cute. This is by Mr. Stitch and Mrs. Needle. And I'm not going to try to say the last name. I'm afraid I'll butcher it. It's 99 by 72. It's stitched on a 28 count lamb's wool Joblin from Witchell. And you have, let's see, it's all in solvents or DMC. Yeah, Dolovans. It's in DMC or solvents, and there are French knots done. It says white French knots. I'm not sure where those are at. Another standalone chart. This is called Happy Halloween. And I think, let me take a sneak peek here. Yes, this is by Michelle Garrett, who is Bendy Stitchy here on Flosstube. So her design is in here, and that was turned into a wine tote bag. Let's see here. So that is, let's see, so that's by Michelle. It's 90 by 60. It's on a 32 count prehistoric linen from Fox and Rabbit, and she charted it for both solvents and DMC. There is a DMC Etoile, the black. If you don't want to purchase that, you can just stitch in black. So that's Michelle's. Congratulations, Michelle getting a chart in here. And here's the next one called Pick of the Patch. And let's see if I can get the glare off of this. This one, I'm going to tell you what I see, and you can thank me or you can hate me for it, because you'll probably never unsee it. This reminds me of E.T. from the movie E.T. I love it. I think it is adorable. But I can't unsee that. I saw those eyes and I went, that's E.T. Okay, this first one is called Hello Pumpkin. This is by Naaku Kudo. It's 66 by 67. It's on a 14 count beige Ada from DMC, and you have your choice of DMC or solvents floss. And the next one is Halloween. Now, the print at the top, it says 800, Trick or Treat, Wicked, and at the bottom it says Spooky, Bewitched, Haunted. I'm not sure what the 800 means, but it's 800. If you know what that means, maybe I'm missing something. Okay, this is by Nancy Greenberg of Pickle Barrel Designs. It's 63 by 64. It's on a 14 count Silver Moon Ada by Zweigart, and it is in DMC or solvents. And I'm going to quit saying that the finishing instructions are here, because if there's any finishing instructions, they're in here. This is Seasonal Celtic Knot. It's by Jennifer Rodriguez. My mouth and my brain are working at 2 different speeds today. This is by Always Time to Stitch. It's 40 by 40, and you have a little bit of back stitch, but it's either in DMC or Sullivan's. Okay, and then there's E.T. Do you see E.T.? I see E.T. I'm sorry. Okay, this is Peculiar Pumpkins. By the way, I am stitching this. I love this. This is done by Gretchen Myers of Noctiflora Designs. It's 62 by 69. It uses DMC or Sullivan's, and there's a little bit of straight stitching. I guess it's just around the eyes to define the eyes. But other than that, that's the only back stitch I see in this. The next one is called Pumpkin Pals. And this one also is cute. It reminds me of something. It reminds me almost of a Stony Creek. And it's got a ton of back stitch like Stony Creek has. This is by Jennifer J. Redmond. It's 66 by 69. And it's done on a 14 count ivory Aida. And it's charted in DMC or Sullivan's. And let's see, we've got lots of back stitch, but there's no beads or anything like that. This next one is another standalone. This is Happy Halloween. So I get that in a little bit closer. That's really cute. I don't like stitching on black. I would have to do something different, but it's really cute. This is by Elizabeth Jerkins Batty. It's 121 by 122. It's on a piece of 28 count black Jobelin by Witchell. It's charted for DMC and Sullivan's. Has a considerable amount, it appears, of back stitch. There's several different colors. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Okay, and then the next 2 pages, so that's charted, that chart covers 3 pages. This next one is Spooky Greetings. And that one's adorable. That one's by Hannah Steele of Hannah Bridget Designs. It's 87 by 78. You know, I look at these sometimes and I think, oh, that's so much bigger. And then I look at the stitch count and go, whoa, that picture is deceiving. It's smaller than I thought. This is on a 28-piece count of vellum casual linen from Picture This Plus, and it's charted in DMC and Sullivan's. And then there's an ad for a book club, for a murder book club. Let's see if I can get this in here right. And if you're interested in that, you can get that from Annie's. I'm trying to make sure I don't show any charts here. Okay, this next one is a standalone, and you get all 3. These are finished on, so I can hold this up here. So those are the 3. And it's called Jack-o'-lantern Garland. These are finished on a hoop, and then they have wood beads to make the, to go around the outside of the hoop and to make the garland. This is by Maddie Miller. Each one is 46 by 46. It's on a 14 count Atomic Ranch Dreamsicle Aida from Rogue Stitching. And it is stitched solely in black, so take your pick. They have Anchor and DMC, but whichever black you like to use that. This one is called Scroll Pumpkin. Let me take the... So this is the next one. Isn't that pretty? Bring that a little bit closer for you. Now, before I forget, this here wood is from Walmart. So let me tell you that first, or I will forget to tell you that. It is weathered white diagonal plank wall decor. It's 10 by 10. It's by Hampton Art by Walmart, from Walmart. Okay, so now it's the design. This is Scroll Pumpkin by Sweet Annette. It's 101 by 98. It's on 14 count white Aida from Witchell, and it's charted for DMC or Sullivan's. And there is no back stitch in that one. I really like that idea. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Up now we have the next section. These are called Spooky Creatures. And there's at least one that I will stitch on this. So we have this one up here. Sorry for the crease in the magazine. And this one down here is the one that I know for a fact that I will stitch. Okay, so let's go through. The first one is Pumpkin Moon. It's by Teresa Curry and Brian Strugelmeyer of Needle Bling Designs. It's 52 by 50, and it is stitched on a 32 count Yellowstone hand-dyed linen from Needle Bling Designs. And this uses it uses 5 colors, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 colors of Gentle Art. It uses 2 colors of one color of Classic Colorworks and 1 Weeks Dye Works. So it does have the conversion for DMC. So if you want to do some DMC, you can do that as well. Okay, this next one is The Deed is Done. And I just love the face on that cat. This is by Cassandra Kavalka by Conforti, a Fairy Wool. Cassandra Kavalka Conforti. I'm sorry, her name was split on 2 different lines. And the shop is Fairy Wool in the Wood. This is 55 by 44. It's stitched on a 32 count Witch Tina linen from Fairy Wool in the Wood. It's charted for DMC and Sullivan's, and it just has a little bit of backstitch. It appears in the cat's face and a little bit on the paws. This next one is Midnight Meeting. This is cute. I like, and it's funny because the way the picture is done, I don't know if you can see, the cat on the right down below him, like right in front of where he's sitting, the branch looks like it's gray, and yet this entire design is just stitched in 310. So I don't know if that was lighting when the photo was taken, but I thought that had 2 different colors in it, and it doesn't. But this would be one to use like a variegated, something that was black and gray, and that would look really nice. Okay, let's get back to the details. This is Midnight Meeting by the Stitcher Hood. This is 50 by 70. It's on a white 14 count from Charles Craft, and the whole thing is done in 310. So any black of your choice. This one is Going Batty. And when I looked at this, I thought this was a Biscornu. And I think this would be really cute if you guys are into making Biscornus. Maybe you could do that with this. Because it does have a button in the middle, but the corners are not the same. Okay, so this is by Elizabeth Spurlock of Saving Grace by Needle Arts. It's 43 by 43. It's on a 28 count piece of vellum casual linen from Picture This Plus. It is in DMC or Sullivan's. You do have a antique seed bead by Mill Hill. Oh, those are the eyes of the bat. So those little red, those are beads. So if you don't want to buy the beads, you could do French knots. I can't do a French knot. But yeah, tell me, those of you who do Biscornus, would that lend itself to being a Biscornu? Okay, did they even talk about the button? It just says decorative buttons were used on the front and back of ornament to create a slight tufted center indentation. So yeah, it doesn't say where they got the buttons. This is Halloween on the Farm. And this is by Spiridonova of Cute Embroidery by Kate. It's 53 by 61. It's on a 28 count Cobblestone Lugana by Atomic Ranch from Rogue Stitching. And again, this one is charted for DMC or Sullivan's. And there's no backstitch. I really want to do this one now. This one I think is gorgeous. This one is called Scary Sadie. And can you see that one? Isn't he cute? So this says original artwork is by Rachel Parker, adapted for cross stitch. So it doesn't specify who charted this. This might be done just by cross stitch. This is 150 by 150. It's on a 28 count pearl gray casual linen from Zweigart, and it is stitched in Sullivan's or DMC, and it appears to be 25 to 30 colors, but no backstitch. Okay, this next one is called Spooky, and it's a bookmark. So let's see this one. This is by Jenny Barton of JB Cross Stitch, It's 85 by 32, and it's on a 14 count white Ada from Zweigart, from Witchell. And it's done in Presencia or DMC. And there are 3 colors of backstitch. But I've never heard of that floss. This one here, this one I really like. This is another standalone. This is called Hallows Eve. It's by Judith Kringle. Okay, my magazine doesn't want to. I'm sorry if you can hear that car alarm. I closed the windows in here because there's some road construction, but I have the window in the other room open and, okay, they shut it off. Okay, so we'll go back to this. And I have a feeling that is going to be a specialty floss. Okay, so let's see. This is by Judith Kringle. It's 127 by 92. It uses, oh, it's not specialty. It uses DMC or solvents, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 blends of these colors to get the colors that you see. This does have a French knot, a few French knots, and it has a Mill Hill petite seed bead. It looks like the seed beads are in the eyes of the bats that are hanging upside down. And then the, let's see, that, and across the tops of the pumpkins. So there's a few of the beads. This one is called Sugar Skull Cat. And I need to point out this fabric. This is hand-painted fabric. And I'll give you the details on that. Can you see the, okay, let me bring this in closer. Maybe you can see more of the, there you can see more of the painting. One of my sticky notes just fell. It wasn't too sticky. Okay, so this is designed by Perry A. Hottie of Stitchora. It's 170 by 80, and it's on a piece of 28 count past memory Lugana sunflower printed fabric by Rogue Stitching. And this is done in DMC or Sullivan's, and it does have French knots. There's 4 colors of backstitch in this one. This one's just really cute. Okay, here's our next group. This is called Trick or Treat. I haven't decided. I really like this, but that entire mummy, all of those details are backstitched. And I'm going, oh man, do I really want to do that? Okay, so this first one is called Frank. This is by Franny Ritter of Franny Ritter Designs. It's on a 20 count natural brown linen from Witchell. It's chartered for either DMC or Sullivan's, and it has some backstitch. No French knots, no beads. This next one is called Trick or Treat, and the design is by Tracy Richards of Wrought Iron Stitching. It's 53 by 59, and it's on a 28 count wheat Lugana from Zweigart. This one is in DMC or Sullivan's, and it's got some straight stitch. And that little mer pirate is cute. Really cute. Okay, this next one is I've Got You Meow. And I don't know that I would do the I've Got You, but I would really like to do the mummy. Just the mummy carrying the bucket of candy. I don't know that I really want to do all that backstitch. But it's not that big. So, okay, this is by Jessie Schofield. Let's get into the details before I sit here and talk myself in or out of stitching things. It's 55 by 55. It's on a 28 count Graceful Ghost Lugana from Ship's Manor. And it's stitched in either DMC or Sullivan's. What would you do? Would you do the whole thing, or would you just do part of it? I don't know. Okay, this next one is called Count Catula, and it's by Me Maletta Lila. It's 57 by 45. It uses DMC or Sullivan's, and it does have several French knots, and they appear to mostly be in the banner above the cat. So that's really cute. I'm sitting here looking at the design while I should be talking to you. This next one is called Happy Spooky Ween, and it's by Cute Embroidery by Kate. It's 70 by 44. It's on a 14 count Tropical Green Ada by Witchell. And again, this uses DMC or Sullivan's. And this is one of those designs that it just feels like there's too many little pieces in it that I probably wouldn't stitch it. But it is cute. This next one is called Trick or Treat. Let me bring that in so you can see real close. And then this is just a plank of wood they drilled a hole in, and so it's nothing real fancy. This is by Linda Jan Jenkins. It's 92 by 88. It uses DMC and Sullivan's, and it does have a considerable number of floss colors that are used for backstitch. This next one is called Ghost Love Candy. And it says, trick or treat, bag of sweets, ghosts are walking down the street. So that's adorable. Really fun. Okay, so this one is designed by Erin Norrie of Tangled Threads and Things. It's 129 by 109, and it's on a 14 count white, antique white Ada from Witchell. There is, let's see, it's stitched in DMC or Sullivan's, and it's got some back stitch. So it looks like the back stitch is around the wrappers of the candy, around the ghost, and pretty much it. I don't think there's, but that's it. Just the edges of the wrappers of the candy, and then around the ghost. This next one is called Under the Sea Halloween. Maybe those of you who are doing some of the Under the Sea stitch-alongs, maybe you'd like that as well. This is by Kathleen Hughes Simpson. It's 95 by 82. It's on a 14 count white Ada that was hand-dyed blue. It doesn't say anything about what type of dye was used or anything, just dyed blue. This uses DMC or Sullivan's, and it has 2 colors of backstitch. This next one is October 31st, and it's that one right there. The picture, this is not real clear, and I apologize for that, but the picture is not real clear. So this is designed by Twisted Willow Designs. It's 44 by 44, and it's on a piece of perforated paper, 14 count. It's stitched in Presencia or DMC, and it's got considerable number of backstitch. Okay, now our next section is Witch's Brew. And so this is, I like that one, and I'll tell you why I like that one. This one down here has a lot of black work in her dress. That's a lot of black work. And I've never really done black work, so I might have to try that to find out how I feel. This first one, oh, this is by Abby. Hey, Abby. So this is Abby Johns of Top Knot Stitcher Shop, and her Flosstube channel is Top Knot Stitcher. This is Wickedest Witch in Town, and it is on a 32 count coral hand-dyed linen from Fiber on a Whim. It uses DMC or Sullivan's, but it does use a cottage garden thread in cocoa. No, crocus. I'm sorry. I'm looking for where it's used. It appears to be used in the smoke coming up from the cauldron. Okay, this next one is What's in My Cauldron. That title cracks me up. My youngest 2 grandchildren, my youngest granddaughter, when she would come spend the night for several years, she would pack this big tote that was on wheels. It was like a duffel bag on wheels. And when she would arrive, she'd say, okay, I got to show you what's in my bag and what's in my suitcase. And she would open up and she would have to show me everything she brought. And now that she's kind of outgrown that, she's 12, her brother now does it. And so he's going to be 9 here next month. And so he'll go, it's time to do what's in my bag. And he has to pull out everything he brought to spend the night. Okay, What's in My Cauldron? This is by Angela Joe of Stitch with Coffee Designs. It's 60 by 60. It's on a 28 count trifle Lugana from Picture This Plus. And it's charted in DMC or Sullivan's, and it uses 4 colors to do the backstitch. This next one is called Stitch Witch. And I love, okay, so at the bottom, if you can't make out,
on either side of the scissors. One side says magical stitch removal, and the other says metallic thread dehexing. I'm all about getting rid of the metallic thread. So yeah, I think this is funny. So this is 54 by 55. Oh, I didn't tell you, it's by Sarah Gilbert of Mod Cross Patterns. It's on a 16 count Heather hand-dyed Ada from Fiber on a Whim. This next one is called Wild Witch. It's by Liz Allman of Blackwork Journey. It's 67 by 66. It's on a 28 count white even weave from Zweigart. And it uses two colors, 310, well, a black and a pewter gray, so 310 and 317. But it's charted in solvents or DMC. It does use a light effect, which is the stars in the sky around the witch, and it uses a Mill Hill seed bead. I don't know where that is. Oh, that's used throughout her dress and for the eyes of the spiders. That's really cute. I should really try that. For doing blackwork, that's something really small that, yeah, I think I might have to try that. Okay, this next one is As the Raven Flies. This bird with the person on it reminds me of Barbara Anna. Does anybody else see that? And it's not. I swore this was going to be by Barbara Anna, and I looked and went, oh, it's not. So this is by Patty Brake. It's 120 by 92. It says it's easy. It's on a 28 count Fox Cashel linen from Witchell. I'll tell you the wow in a minute. It uses 2 DMC or solvent colors. It uses a brim and needle color. It does have a DMC. Everything that I tell you has a DMC alternative. It also has 4 Valdani solids and 4 Valdani variegated, and then it has Toho seed beads. Wow, that's a lot for that little design. Okay, so I like that, but I probably would convert everything using the DMC. I would probably use the DMC conversion if I can get my words out. Okay, this next one is called Witchy Tea Time. It's by Gail Busey. And I'm looking at this and I think this is really cute, but then I think, you know, if I darkened it up, if I made the colors more vibrant, if maybe I put her in black, that maybe it would fit my aesthetic better. Nothing wrong with the design, just my aesthetic. So if I do that one, I will convert it. At the bottom, it says lemon balm, chamomile, mint, dandelion, sage, lavender. And the one basket, if you can't read it, on the bottom has a little tag on it and it says herb. This is, again, by Gail Busey. It's 69 by 99. It's on a 14 count antique white Ada from Witchell. It uses DMC and Sullivan's, and it does have 2 colors of French knots. And I see the French knots in the owl's eyes, and I don't know where the other ones are. Not sure. Not going to waste your time looking for it. I hate doing French knots, so I immediately look for how many French knots and where are they. Okay, this one's called Witch's Hat Pincushion. And so you stitch the brim, and then you stitch the hat, and then it tells you how to sew the 2 together. And all of these dots, these are all beads that you see, and there's beads all along here. So this one is by Kim Beamish. It's the top and bottom brim is 44 by 44. The hat top is 45 by 64. Okay, I'm looking at this. Okay, then it says design size. I'm going, what is the difference? Okay, so overall, if you stitch it on the count of fabric they suggest, the top and bottom brim will be 3 3/8, and the top hat will stand 3 1/4 by 4 5/8. So if you are trying to get the idea of how big that is. This uses DMC and Sullivan's. It also uses a DMC Pearl Cotton in number 8. And it uses the Mill Hill beads in the black. And then you have the 2 separate charts and very extensive instructions on how to put it together. So these are, you have an entire page of instructions to put that together. Okay, so now we come to the end. The next page is just a marketplace. So we have some advertisements. And let's see what else we have here at the end. We have your basic stitch diagrams. We have some shops listed. These are advertisements. And then you have a page. This is the only double page spread. Cover that up. And so you have the double page. This is all the designs in the magazine. I'm trying to see around you. Yeah, we go. So that's everything that's in here. And then the very last, or you have an advertisement for floss. That's by Notions. And this here page tells you all of the websites where you can buy the materials that is listed for in here. So you will have all the fabrics, the beads, Sullivan, Sulky, all the fabrics, Hobby Lobby. So all those websites are here. So that is the 2023 Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition. I hope visually you liked having the pictures up here to see them better as I was describing them. Sorry about the car alarm. And remember, if you want this 2022 that was sent to me by mistake, so I asked for 2 of these and I got 1 of each, use the word oops. And I will give that away on August 1st when I do my update then. And so that is it. I hope you have a great month and I will see you soon. Bye.